Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're going to talk about a single strip of water, one so important it basically holds the entire global economy hostage. We'll explore how one nation could use this choke point as its ultimate weapon, and trust me, it's probably not what you're thinking. So let me ask you, what do you think is Iran's most powerful weapon? I mean, your mind probably jumps straight to missiles, right? Or maybe its nuclear program. But what if its greatest strategic asset is something else? Something completely different.
Okay, I want you to picture this. You're the captain of a massive oil tanker, just sailing along, and then, suddenly, a broadcast cuts through the static on your radio. It's a chilling message from the Iranian Navy, and it's a direct order that is about to bring global commerce to its knees.
So, to really get the power behind that kind of message, you have to understand the geography. We're talking about one of the most strategic, most important pieces of water on the entire planet. The Strait of Hormuz. Yeah, think of it like the world's energy jugular. Seriously, it's the only way for ships to get from the Persian Gulf out to the open ocean. That makes it the main highway for oil coming from giants like Saudi Arabia, the UAE, and Iraq. To put it bluntly, the entire global economy depends on this one spot. And let's put some numbers on that. We're talking about a staggering 20%. That's 1/5 of the entire world's oil supply, all of it flowing through this one single waterway. It's just incredible.
Yeah, 20%. That works out to over 20 million barrels of oil moving through that narrow channel every single day. It's basically a river of black gold that keeps our world running.
And here's the kicker. At its narrowest point, the strait is only 40 kilometers wide. That's it. It's a natural bottleneck. And guess who controls the entire northern coastline? Iran. That's the key.
Look, this isn't just some abstract thing happening on the other side of the world. This matters to you. The fuel that goes into your car, the buses and trains you take, the planes we all fly in, it all ties back to this. Not to mention the economics of huge powers like India, China, and Japan. And of course, all the wealth of Saudi Arabia, the UAE, and Kuwait. It's all connected to this one tiny waterway. So what would it actually take to shut this vital artery down? Well, let's walk through a hypothetical scenario. This isn't just something we made up. It's based on analysis from geopolitical experts, the people who live and breathe this stuff, and it shows just how fast everything could spiral completely out of control. Just look at how fast that happens. We go from a regional conflict to a full-blown global crisis in, 4 days? It starts with a military strike and ends with the world's economy teetering on the brink. And the moment Iran makes that call, the consequences are immediate. They're devastating. It's like the world's economic engine just seizes up.
You can see the shockwave hitting Europe almost instantly. Gas prices, they shoot up by 50%. Oil jumps 27%. We're talking about a cost to taxpayers of 3 billion euros in just a few days. And folks, that is just the beginning.
And don't think for a second this is just a European problem. Oh no, Asia's biggest economies, India, China, Japan, they're getting hammered. You've got countries like Pakistan and Bangladesh facing critical fuel shortages. Even a major oil producer like Nigeria has to start jacking up its prices. And all the while, these massive tankers with millions of barrels of oil are just stuck, stranded at sea. So now, with the world absolutely desperate, Iran plays its hand. It uses this incredible leverage. It makes an offer, which, let's be honest, is a demand. You want the oil to start flowing again? Simple. Expel the US and Israeli ambassadors from your country. It's a simple choice, but it's politically explosive. Now, this whole strategy, using oil as a weapon, it might be ringing some bells for you. And it should, because this is not the first time we've seen this play. There's a playbook for this, though with one very important difference. Let's roll the clock back 50 years to 1973. Saudi Arabia's King Faisal, he weaponized oil supply. He literally turned off the taps, cutting production to countries that supported Israel. Now fast forward to our scenario today. Iran isn't turning off the taps, it's weaponizing oil transit. It's blocking the highway. So it's a different method, but the goal? It's exactly the same. Use oil to gain massive geopolitical leverage. But what if it's not that simple? There's a darker, more complex piece of history we need to look at, a parallel that suggests Iran making this move might be exactly what its enemies want. That this whole thing isn't just about economic pressure. What if it's a trap? Okay, so go back to the Iran-Iraq War in the 1980s. According to some analysts, the US was trying to set a trap. The plan, allegedly, was to get its ally at the time, Saddam Hussein, to just keep attacking Iranian ships in the strait. The hope was that Iran would get so angry, so provoked, that it would retaliate by closing the whole thing down. And if they did that, boom, the US would have the perfect pretext to invade, all under the noble cause of saving the world economy. But here's the thing. Iran's leader, Khomeini, supposedly saw the trap. He refused to take the bait and kept the strait open, foiling the whole plan.
And that brings us right back to today, and to a really chilling possibility. What if that initial attack on Iran in our scenario was designed to do the exact same thing? To provoke this exact response, to bait Iran into closing the strait, which would then turn global opinion against them and create the perfect justification for a full-scale invasion.
So, here we are. The global economy is in chaos, military tensions are through the roof, and the world is at a massive crossroads. Really, there are only two ways this can go.
And this is the central dilemma, right? Path 1. The economic pain gets so bad, so unbearable, that the rest of the world forces the US to back down and end the war. Path 2. The US uses this crisis as the perfect excuse to launch a full-scale invasion, painting itself as the savior of the world economy. It's a showdown between economic pressure and military ambition. And whichever way it goes, it's going to redefine global alliances for decades to come.
So as the world just holds its breath, waiting to see what happens next, the new leadership in Iran steps up and makes its position terrifyingly clear. Imagine the scene. In his very first speech, the newly appointed supreme leader doesn't offer a truce. He vows to continue the fight. He promises revenge for his predecessor. He declares the strait will stay closed. And he says, flat out, that Iran will never surrender. There's no compromise, no backing down.
And that leaves us right here with this one fundamental question. On one hand, you have the global economy, this incredibly complex but fragile system. On the other, you have raw military might and ambition. When those two forces collide at the world's most critical choke point, something has to break. The only question is, which one will it be?